You know, there's one conversation you have more than any other. It's with the most constant, most influential voice in your life. And that's the one inside your own head. Today, we're going to talk about how to make absolutely sure that voice is on your side.
Okay, let's try a little experiment right now. Just take a moment and listen. When you think about a big challenge or a new project, or even just when you look in the mirror, what's the very first thing that voice says? Is that voice a friend or is it a critic?
And you might think, oh, it's just background noise, right? But this internal conversation is never just passive. It's actively shaping your confidence, your decisions. It's the difference between going for that promotion or not, between speaking up or staying quiet. I mean, it literally builds the world you experience every single day. We all have one, this inner critic. It's like the secret architect of our limits. The thing is, it works silently, building these walls around our potential so subtly that we often don't even see the cage being built around us. It tells us what we can't do. And the real problem is, we believe it. And that word right there, habit, that is everything. See, negative self-talk isn't a reflection of who you actually are. It's just a learned pattern, a mental habit you've probably practiced for years without even realizing it. Think of it like a deeply worn path in your brain. But here's the amazing news. Because it's just a habit, just a neural pathway, you can actually carve a brand new one.
So let's break down how this actually works in real life. A simple thought like, I'm not good enough for that, isn't just a passing thought. It becomes the very reason you don't even try. The thought creates the outcome. Your belief, well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Do any of these sound a little too familiar? These are like the greatest hits of the inner critic. I always mess things up. What if they find out I'm a total fraud? The most important thing to get here is that these are not facts. They're just stories. And honestly, they're really limiting stories.
Okay, but here's the good news. This is where we start to take our power back. Because if your inner voice is just a habit, that means you can create a new one. If it's just a script, well, you can be the one to rewrite it. So let's talk about how to do that.
I love this because it really says it all. You are not just a passive listener to your own thoughts. You are the author. You are holding the pen. And you have the power right now to cross out those old lines that just don't work for you anymore and write a totally new, empowering story. So the big question is, how do we actually do this? Well, it's not about wrestling with those negative thoughts. I mean, fighting them just gives them more energy, right? Instead, it's about a really simple, consistent practice. Let's walk through the 2 steps that can turn your inner critic into your greatest ally. Okay. Step 1 is all about awareness. You just catch it. The moment you hear that voice say, I can't do this, just notice it. The key is not to judge yourself for having the thought. Just observe it. Maybe even say, there's that old story again. Then you move to step 2. Change it. This is the active part. This is where you consciously swap that thought for something better. So what do we use to build this new script? Affirmations. Think of them as the literal building blocks for your new inner dialogue. They're your new lines. So let's say that old script pipes up with, you'll never be able to do that. You catch it. And you replace it with this. I am capable of achieving my goals. Look, this isn't about pretending everything's going to be perfect overnight. It's about reminding yourself of what you're made of. It shifts your focus from the obstacle to your own potential. Oh, this next one. This is a total game changer, especially if you get stuck in that perfectionism trap. When that inner critic starts yelling about a mistake you made, you just replace it with, I choose progress over perfection. That one sentence gives you permission to be human, to learn as you go, and to just keep moving forward. And for those moments, and we all have them, when you start comparing yourself to someone else, when that little voice whispers that you're not as talented, you replace it with this powerful truth. My potential is limitless. It's not about ego. It's just a refusal to let an old, tired thought put a ceiling on who you can become. And I really want to be clear here. This is so much more than just a mental exercise. When you practice this day in and day out, you fundamentally change how you show up in the world. When you change your inner voice, you don't just feel different. You actually start to act different. So what does this actually look like in your life? Well, you start to build this unshakable confidence, not from a place of arrogance, but from real self-support. You become so much more resilient, bouncing back faster from setbacks because your inner voice is finally on your team, like a coach instead of a critic. You find the courage to go after those big goals, and underneath it all, you just feel a deeper sense of peace. So it really all comes down to this question. Are you going to let that old, tired script just run on repeat? Or are you going to pick up that pen, catch the very next negative thought that pops up, and consciously, deliberately choose the voice of your own greatest ally? The choice, as always, is yours, and it starts right now. Hey, if this was valuable for you, it would mean the world if you'd help share it. You can subscribe, follow, like, or share. Thanks so much for listening.